Hello everyone. Today our topic of discussion is how to read a chest X-ray. So today we will discuss how to approach, how to interpret a chest X-ray or any X-ray. So first we'll discuss in the following points, 10 points in any X-ray interpretation. We'll see in 10 points. First we'll comment on the data and part of the chest X-ray, means name of the patient, age and sex, then which part of this chest X-ray or abdomen or any other part. Then second, the projection or view of chest X-ray, view of X-ray. It is anterior-posterior view or posterior-anterior. We'll discuss in detail how to differentiate between AP view and PA view. Then exposure or penetration. Is it underexposed film or overexposed film? How to differentiate? What are the different points? Then is it well centralized film or rotated film? Which side is rotation? How to differentiate in centralized and rotated film, and what are the different points? Then coming to soft tissue, what to look for in soft tissue. Then we'll go from outside to inside. Then first is soft tissue, then inside bony cage, in that clavicle, rib cage, ribs and vertebrae. Then inside costophrenic angle, cardiophrenic angle and diaphragm. Okay, so we are going from outside to inside. Then going to lung parenchyma. What are the points we have to see in lung parenchyma? Expansion, vascular markings, different type opacities, these things we'll discuss. Then going more inside, heart and mediastinum. What are the things we have to see in heart, mediastinum, hilum? Then last point is different tubings. We have to comment on the different tubes and lines like endotracheal tube, feeding tube, central lines, UVC, UAC, PICC line. So these 10 points are there. In these 10 points, we will discuss how to interpret a chest X-ray. So first point is we have to mention name, age, sex, date and time of the X-ray and part of the X-ray, chest or abdomen. This is the first point. Second point will go projection. It is AP view or PA view. Means X-ray beams is going from anterior posterior or posterior anterior. This is the X-ray plate. Newborn baby is lie down on above the X-ray plate and X-ray beam is coming from above, means anterior to posterior. X-ray plate is behind, X-ray beam is coming from anterior to posterior. So this newborn X-ray is generally AP view only. PA view, the X-ray beam will come from posterior to anterior. X-ray plate will be anterior side and beam will come from posterior side. Okay. So how to differentiate between AP and PA view? Okay. So different points are there. First point is that we have to see the clavicles. In AP view, generally clavicles will be horizontal, but in PA view, clavicles will be like V shape. Okay. Second point is scapular shadow. So in AP view, scapular shadow will overlap to the lung fields. Here sometimes we can see here scapular shadow. Here also we can see some scapular shadow. But in PA view, scapular shadow will be away from the lung fields. Okay. Third point, in AP view, the ribs will be more horizontal. Okay. Ribs will be the more horizontal. One concept you can remember, that any body part which is nearer to the X-ray plate, will look more prominent. Okay. So like in AP view, vertebral column is near the X-ray plate, that will look more prominent. Posterior ribs are near to the X-ray plate, that will look more prominent in AP view. So in AP view, posterior ribs will look more prominent, vertebral column will look more prominent. And these posterior ribs are horizontal, that's why in AP view, ribs will look more horizontal, prominent, vertebral column will look more prominent. Okay. Next point is that heart shadow will look bigger in AP view. because any body part which is near to the X-ray beam will look bigger. So heart shadow will look bigger in the AP view and is smaller in the PA view. Okay. So these 4-5 points are there. First, clavicle position, scapular shadow, posterior ribs or will look more horizontal in AP view. Heart will look bigger in AP view. Next, we will comment on the exposure or penetration. Exposure and penetration means it is underexposed film or overexposed or normally exposed film. So first we will look for soft tissue shadows. Soft tissue shadows is this. If soft tissue shadows are normally visible, it is normally exposed. If it is not visible, soft tissues are not visible, means it is overexposed film. It will look more black or hyperlucent. It will not be visible, means it is overexposed film. If it is underexposed film, then it will look more whiter, more bright, more whiter, more bright. Soft tissue, like in bone, we cannot differentiate, so it will be underexposed film. Okay. Next, we'll go for lung parenchyma. If lung parenchyma is hyperlucent, we cannot see the lung markings also, means it is overexposed film. If it is more whiter, brighter, means underexposed film. Then we'll look for long bones. If long bones appears to disappear, means if it is not visible bright or white, it is more like black, bones are not visible, means it is overexposed film. It is hyperlucent, so long bones will not be prominently visible, means it is overexposed film. So these points are there. So we can differentiate between underexposed or overexposed film. One more point is that retrocardiac vertebrae. Retrocardiac vertebrae, if very easily seen, are more prominent, means it is overexposed film. If it is not visible, retrocardiac vertebrae, means it is underexposed film. Next, we will comment on rotation. Means it is rotated film or centralized film. So first we will look for medial end of clavicles. So medial end of clavicles should be the equidistant from the center. So if it is equidistant, means it is well centralized film. If not equidistant, means rotated film. Second is hemithorax, symmetry of hemithorax. If both hemithorax are symmetrical, means it is well centralized film. If one hemithorax is bigger than the other, means rotated film. Which hemithorax is bigger, that side is the rotation. Means if right side is hemithorax is bigger, means right side rotation is there. And lung parenchyma will look hyperlucent. Which side? That side is rotated. Means if right side rotated, right side will look hyperlucent, and this side hemithorax will look bigger. So this second point is more important. Sometimes what will happen, baby will be centralized from the above, but baby will rotate from the below. So we have to see both the points, clavicle distance and hemithorax. Next, we will comment on the soft tissues. These soft tissues are there, subcutaneous tissues. Here, this will comment. What we will see in this? We can see that if edema is there, so this soft tissue shadow will become bigger. So edema we can see in this. Second, if some hyperlucent shadows are there in between the soft tissues, means subcutaneous emphysema is there. So we are going step by step so that we cannot miss any point. So we are going more inside. So we will see bony cage. In bony cage, we will see the bones, long bones, humerus, clavicle and ribs. So we can see if any humerus fracture is there during delivery, any clavicle fracture is there, any fracture in ribs, or we can count the ribs also. We can see the expansion, chest expansion, how many ribs are there. So any normal expansion is anterior ribs should be 6 ribs should be visible, posterior ribs 8 ribs. So that is the normal expansion. Anterior ribs 6, posterior ribs 8. So what this more prominent ribs, these are the posterior ribs, because these posterior ribs are the nearer to the X-ray plate. So we can count this. Posterior ribs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Almost 7 posterior ribs are visible. Anterior ribs will be these curved ribs will be the anterior ribs. So anterior ribs, if 6 ribs are visible, means no, expansion is normal. So this is bony case we have to see. Next we'll go more inside. We'll comment on the costophrenic angle, cardiophrenic angle. This is the costophrenic angle, this is the cardiophrenic angle, and the diaphragm. So if costophrenic angle is obliterated, that is suggestive of pleural effusion. But mostly it happens in the erect posture. If pericardial effusion is there, sometimes this cardiophrenic angle also can be obliterated. Or if any opacity is there, homogeneous or any localized opacity is there, that time also this angle can be obliterated. Or if in RDS picture like white out lungs are there, in that also this cardiac chill out sign can disappear. Okay. Then diaphragm will be like dome like. In right side it will be upper than the left side. Right side will be upper than the left side. But if hyperinflation is there, then diaphragm will become flat. So in hyperinflation, diaphragm will become flat. These spaces will become 9 to 10 space expansion. So these are the angles we have to see. Next we will comment on the lung parenchyma. So in lung parenchyma, first we will see that any pathology is there that is symmetrical or asymmetrical, that is present in both the lungs or one side only. So first is symmetrical or asymmetrical, second is it is homogeneous or heterogeneous. Like RDS opacity will be homogeneous, but MAS opacities will be heterogeneous. Okay. And next point is, we'll see the pulmonary vascular markings. It is oligamic lung fields or plethoric lung fields. Plethoric will be like here some infiltrates or whiteout will be there. In oligamic lung fields, hyperlucent lung fields will be there. Oligamic lung fields will happen in right to left shunt or cyanotic congenital heart disease, and plethoric lung fields will happen in left to right shunt like VSD and PDM. Okay, so we have to see the pulmonary vascular markings, and pulmonary vascular markings, plethoric lung fields, we can say if vascular markings are visible up to the lateral 1/3 of the lung fields. Okay, that is the plethoric lung fields. Then we will look for the type of the opacities. It is like in MAS will be like nodular fluffy shadows will be there. What type of opacities are there? Is it localized or generalized, homogeneous, or this type? We'll see. Like in RDS, reticulogranular opacities will be there. So these lung fields we have to comment on the. Like in pneumothorax, what will happen? Pneumothorax will be, lung fields will become hyperlucent and sharp demarcation line will be there. Okay, medial lung will be collapsed and lateral side hyperlucency will be there. In that, lung markings will be absent. So these things we have to see in the lung parenchyma. Next we will comment on the heart and mediastinum. We are going more inside. We are going step by step. We are going more inside heart and mediastinum. In heart, we will comment on the size of the heart and shape of the heart. So size, if cardiomegaly is there or not. Shape, what shape is there? Sometimes like in TOF, boot shape heart will be there. In TGA, egg on side appearance, like egg on side appearance will be there. So first is size. If cardiomegaly, how to see the cardiomegaly? So we have to see the maximum transverse diameter of the heart. So maximum transfer from center we can take from here to here and here to here. Both we have to add. So this will become maximum transfer diameter of the heart divided by maximum thoracic diameter. So it should be more than 60%. Then we can call cardiomegaly. So size of the heart, then shape of the heart we have seen. Then we have to look for mediastinum like pneumomediastinum is there or not. What will happen in pneumomediastinum? Thymus will be uplifted and that will become sail sign. Here thymus will be there, but in here because of there thymus is uplifted, that will look like sail sign. So other things we have to see in the hilum like pulmonary vascular markings, like in TT and the sunburst appearance will be there because of the fluid in the lymphatics and pulmonary vessels. In that, hilum will be more prominent. So mediastinum and heart, we have to see these points. Next and final point is different lines and the tubings. Here in this X-ray we can see what are the different lines and tubings we can see. First is the endotracheal tube. Second, this one is the UVC, and third is the ICD tube. Okay. So these positions we have to see in the X-ray properly positioned or not. So first is ET tube. Endotracheal tube should be positioned between T1 to T2. Thoracic vertebra 1 and 2, or just above the carina, 1 to 2 centimeter above the carina. So in X-ray sometimes we can see the carina also. So 1 to 2 centimeters above the carina, ET tip should be visible. Okay. Next, UVC. UVC position should be just above the diaphragm. It should be the 1 centimeter above the diaphragm. This position is not correct. Here, this is going in liver. So this is low level. So it should be correct position is just 1 centimeter above the diaphragm, UVC. UAC position should be T6 to T9. Between T6 to T9 is the correct position tip of UAC. Then PICC line. Sometimes we are putting PICC line from the upper limb. That should be, tip should be between T3 to T6. Okay, T3 to T6. And sometimes here we can see here feeding tube also will be usual going into the stomach bubble, stomach shadow, feeding tube we can see. So these are the different lines and tubings we have to see in the X-ray. So this was about how to read a chest X-ray or any X-ray. In next class we will discuss X-rays in NICU. Thank you so much.